Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you my travel art supplies. These are the things that I took with me during my last vacation. So I showed you what I took, what I actually used during my vacation, and as a bonus I'll show you the artwork that I've actually made with these art supplies, together with a couple of things that I bought during my vacation. So if you're curious, please stay tuned and let's get started. Let's start with this pencil case. This is what I take with me almost all the time. And I have a lot in here. It's a very simple, very basic pencil case, nothing fancy. But it holds lots of stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it because seriously, I would need a separate video for it. So I'll just show you what I've used during my trip. So, and first of all, I've used actually this one and this one, a pencil from Staedtler, and that's HB, and you see it's already getting much shorter, and it is a very nice pencil. I really enjoy it and I use it a lot. Then I've also used this Faber-Castell dust-free eraser. To be honest, I don't know why it's called dust-free. I don't think it's dust-free at all, but it is a good eraser, so I use it a lot and I quite like it. Then here in the small tin, I keep my other eraser or kneaded eraser, and I use it a lot when I make sketch right on the watercolor paper. And then what else? Then I've also used this craft knife, and this is what I use to sharpen my pencils. I also have this one with the container. And this one is very nice actually. It does sharpen pencils to a very fine point. However, for some reason I find that it's nicer to sharpen it with the craft tool when I want to make some complicated and detailed sketches. So I do not know why, but this is what I've been using to sharpen these pencils. Then I've also been using this Jelly Roll number 8, nothing fancy, for some of the highlights, which I will show you later on in my artwork. And I've also used this gouache, and this one is from Royal Talents. I know that, for example, Winsor & Newton is very popular, and I used it before as well. But now I've actually bought several tubes of this one because it is a little bit cheaper and the result is the same. So I only use it for highlights, and I like it a lot. And I actually think that's pretty much it. I didn't use anything else, but if you would like to have a tour of my pencil case and what I carry with me more or less everywhere, then just let me know. Let's put it back here so I don't forget it. And then I also took with me a second pencil case. And this one is actually from IKEA. I think they had a set of 3 bags, something like that. So I use it as my second pencil case. And what I have in here is miscellaneous. I have this spray bottle. It's so tiny and so cute, and I love it a lot, and I use it a lot. Then I also have this masking fluid. And I have another one from Schminke in my other pencil case. And this one is from the shop called Panduro. And if you live in Europe, then you might have this shop as well. And I saw that they had this watercolor masking fluid for a decent price, and it's really a lot of it, and I decided to try it. And I can tell you that so far I like it a lot. It has one very big minus. It takes a really long time for it to dry, like seriously, a very long time. So I really needed to learn patience, and I did, so I guess it's also a benefit. But on the other hand, it's very nice to use, it's very easy to remove, and another benefit is that when it dries, because it looks white, but actually when it dries, it more or less becomes transparent. So if you have some kind of sketch under this masking fluid, you would be able to see what's under it. And I found it very handy and very neat, and I like it a lot. so I'm going to use it more, that's for sure. Then I also have just a piece of fabric, which I didn't actually use, but I have it if I need to wipe my brushes or anything. Then I also have scissors, which I use very rarely, but you know, you always need scissors when you don't have them, so I have the scissors with me as well. And I also have this brush just for wetting my paper. I don't remember where I bought this brush, but yeah, I decided to use it specifically for watercolor paper because it's so very soft. It's so nice. So, and it's okay, but I'm not quite sure yet if I like it or not. So, and that was it in this pencil case. Oh, I also have these ones apparently, but I didn't use them. So let's put it back. Then I also took with me these colored pencils because I started getting a little bit into adding details with colored pencils to my watercolors, but so far I cannot say that I use them that much. But I'm slowly moving into mixed media probably, or sometimes I just dip my toes into the mixed media, so I prefer to have them with me in case I need them or in case I have some stunning idea where I need some color pencils. I don't know, so I took these ones with me as well. So the first sketchbook that I took is the one from Royal Talents, their art creation brand, because this is a very nice sketchbook. It's nice small size. The paper is of wonderful quality. It's very thick, and if needed it can even take watercolor. And here I can show you. So I made these two sketches. This was the view from the window, and this was the seashore where we were close by, and I think it turned out quite cute. But I didn't paint that much in it, and I'll tell you later on why. Or actually, I'll tell you right away. I didn't paint that much in the sketchbooks at all because it was windy where we were and the weather wasn't always that nice. So I actually ended up painting more on separate watercolor sheets of paper, but I'll still show you which sketchbooks I took with me. So this one was the first one. The second one was this watercolor sketchbook, also from Panduro, so it's the same brand as the masking fluid that I just showed you. It's an okay sketchbook. It holds water surprisingly nice. It's a bit too smooth for my taste. It's very smooth. And I drew only one thing in it, but I will show you later on because what I have in here, the painting I made with the art supplies that I bought during the trip. So if you want to know what it is and what I painted, then stay tuned till the end of the video. So that one was the second one. And the third one was this from Strathmore mixed media paper, because I heard that this one is good as it is 100% cotton, and it is also highly recommended as a watercolor paper. So I even kept this cover for now, but I guess I'll remove it because it's a nice cover for the sketchbook. I cannot say that I'm that impressed though with it yet, but again I only started using, so I'm probably not used to it. So I can show you one painting that I did, and it's this one. I made it not during vacation but right before it, so I guess technically it wasn't vacation but before I left my home. And I painted on two sides specifically to test if there's any difference in the sides of the paper, and I do believe that there is, because here I felt that the water was, or the paint was flowing nicer and faster, but I just need to paint more in it. There are barely any sketches in it, so I can't really come to a certain conclusion. But it doesn't buckle that much, and it's quite thin, and I mean, it's okay, but I would like to use more to say if I really like it or not. So, but like I said, so let me show you the final paper. Like I said, let me move it over here. I didn't have that much opportunity to paint outside, and instead I had quite a few hours where we were staying where I could just paint a bigger pieces of art or just bigger watercolor pieces. So specifically for these situations, I took this Fabriano block with watercolor paper, 100% cotton, cold pressed, which is my favorite. And I took it with me also because I actually do not like it that much, so I knew that I wouldn't try to save the paper, but I would actually paint in it, because yes, I'm one of those people that when I find a paper that I really like, then I just stop painting it, because then it becomes too precious. So this is a good paper. It can handle many things, many layers, many wet and wet techniques. So it's nice, and I use that a lot. So I will show you which paintings I made in this block. But it is good. It's just not my favorite one. So, and now let's move to the paint. So I was actually very minimal this time, and for my outdoor paintings, I took this core palette. And as I told you, I didn't really paint outdoors, so I didn't use it that much, unfortunately. Or actually, I didn't use it at all. But I still really like this set. It's a wonderful set. I love the colors that are in it. Even if you mix everything together, it's still somehow very difficult to make mud. So that's a very big benefit. And it is very universal, so you can paint whatever you want with it. And generally, I really like core paints. The flow amazing, they feel amazing, the colors are exceptionally bright. So I think if, for example, you paint florals, that would be a wonderful set for you. But it definitely works for anything. So whenever I travel, I really like taking this core travel tin with me. And the next art supply was this, my custom palette with Daniel Smith paints. And I have a video on my channel with what colors go in it, so I'll leave a link somewhere here. It did change a bit since then, so if you would like me to go through the colors that I have right now and the ones that I'm using, then leave a comment down below. So if there are any comments, then I will make a video on it. But I have decided to take this one because it is a very nice tin, and there are the colors that I like, and as you can see, it has space for brushes, and I didn't want to take that many this time, so it just worked out perfectly. I didn't need to take any extra brush holder with me. So, and as you can see, the brushes that I took are these two Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor brushes, and I really like them. They're very nice. I was surprised, to be honest, by the quality of these brushes. This one is number 10, and it comes to a very thin point, and I painted a lot with it. So if you are currently in search for a decent watercolor brush, and that is synthetics, but it holds lots of water, I can highly recommend it. It's a very good brush. And this one I bought mostly to be used for florals, but I didn't paint that many florals, or at least not in the style that this brush is meant for, so I didn't use it that much. But this one I used a lot. So then I have just some smaller brush from Raphael. I probably used it. It's an okay brush, nothing special. Then I also have probably my favorite brush, the one from Da Vinci, Maestro Topolsky Kalinsky, number 10. Oh, actually no, I'm lying. Number 6 brush. It's just for some reason there's also number 10 here, and it is a wonderful brush. I like it a lot. It gives a very special feeling when you paint with it, and yeah, I take it with me quite often. And then there is another Raphael brush, a small one for minor details. And let me do it like this. And I also had a rigger with me as well, but I didn't use it this time because, oddly enough, even though most of the time I paint landscapes, this time I didn't paint landscapes at all. Or at least the only landscapes that I painted were those 2 sketches that you saw in my sketchbook, and maybe the 3rd one as well, but not really on but nothing on this Fabriano paper. So that was it. So just move it aside, back. now, as promised, let me show you the 2 art supplies that I got during my vacation. And first I would like to show you this Derwent Inktense pencils, because I was so curious about this art supply that, you know, you can re-wet, or not re-wet, that you can use water to use them as watercolor pencils, but when they dry you cannot re-wet them. So I was just so curious how I could use them, and yet to use them much more often. And they look kind of dry. I don't know how to say, they look like bad pencils. But they're actually very, very nice to draw with. They're very, very smooth, and they feel very, very nice. So when you wet them with water, it gives an incredible feeling. Just the colors, they just pop right away. So this is amazing, and I can show you here. I made the swatches, so these are the colors that I have, and this is what happens when you use water on them. And there is a small line that is left when you wet them. So if you draw something and then you wet, you can a little bit see it on the swatch. But this is actually what I drew with those pencils, and I think the result is very, very, very nice. It was so nice and easy to work with them, and the effect that they give is wonderful. So I'm sure that I'm going to use them a lot in the future. And the next art supply is this watercolor paper from Clairefontaine. And I know that they make this paint-on mixed media paper that's very popular, and I think it's of a very good quality. But I've never seen this paper. It's 100% cotton, cold pressed, and when I was trying to search on YouTube, I could only see some sketchbooks where they use this paper, but not really a review of this paper at all, or anyone using it. So I don't know. I thought it would be great to give it a go and to try it out. So let's see. I think I'll paint on it soon, maybe for my next video, but we'll see how it goes. If you have tried this paper, then let me know, and please tell me what you think of it. Is it as good paper as, I don't know, Arches and Fabriano, or is it just a big disappointment? Yeah, a little bit like a cat in a box when you buy something and you cannot read about it in advance. So let me know. But these were the 2 art supplies. So, and if you are still with me, then please give this video a like, or like a thumbs up as they say, and subscribe. And as a bonus now, I will show you the artwork that I've painted during my vacation. So first of all, I've painted this, I do not know what. It's not perfect, I know. I'm also not a portrait artist, but for some reason I felt like making something like a portrait, and to play with colors and color palette and texture, and just to experiment. And it's probably far from great, but I really, really like it. It was fun to try out something new, because sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zone, right? Then the other painting that I made is that flower dragon that I was told looks also like a snake, and a mix a little bit with the goat, but whatever. It was still really fun to paint, and there were some goals that I had for me in this painting, and I've learned a lot while making it, so I quite like it. And if you can see these details, this was actually already made with the Derwent Inktense pencils. They look very nice and very vibrant on the watercolors. And then the next painting. So, are there any Warhammer nerds watching this video? If you are there, then can you guess what it is? So, for those who are not familiar with Warhammer and those who do not play it, this painting is an illustration of a story, and Warhammer is a game, by the way, Warhammer 40k. And there's a story about a race far away, and that race, they didn't live for a long time, so they were trying to find ways to become immortal. And then they met those star gods, which promised them this immortality, but they more or less tricked them and turned them into the machines that lost their souls. So I captured this moment in this illustration when they are losing their soul and turning into the metal. And I really like it. It's actually the first time when I had this clear vision, clear story in my mind that I needed to put on paper, and it was something completely new for me, because you see, it's not a landscape, so whatever is not a landscape is very new for me. And I liked painting it, and I love this painting, this illustration as well. So if you do play, or if you do know Warhammer 40k, please let me know what you think of it, because this is my vision on Necrons. This is the name of the race. So what do you think? Because I know that it's usually shown very, very differently. So I'd be very curious to know if there's anyone who likes my interpretation of them more. So, and the last but not the least, because I have it already in a frame, so now you'll probably see lots of glare, but I hope that it works. Let me take a look. But this is the final piece that I made before my vacation was over, and as you can see, I already put it in the frame, so it's hanging right now in my living room. And I'm not painting flowers that often, to be honest. I find them quite challenging for me. Maybe that's why I try to paint them again and again. But I'm quite happy with this one. I think it conveyed the mood of the flowers that I saw around me while I was on a vacation. And that was it for today. Thank you for watching this video and for staying till the end. If you did like it, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Happy painting. Bye!